Good morning, Virgin Islanders, at home and abroad. This is your Governor, Albert Bryan Jr., and I'm joined today by Director of VITEMA, Darrell Johnson, as well as Major General Knox Limbacher of the National Guard. Just giving you a little update on what's happening on this very wet Saturday here in the Virgin Islands. We've been monitoring this storm through the night and been meeting throughout the day. This morning when I woke up at 4:30, the storm was had quite a bit of blow in St. Croix. The wind was really high. Since then, though, it has been dying off a little bit with sporadic gusts coming in and out. We had an early morning meeting with the Weather Service, and Darrell Johnson is here to update you on what is going on at the present time as of the 11 o'clock update. We've been monitoring what's going on all three islands. St. John seems to be very quiet now. St. Thomas quiet as well. St. Croix mostly light rains. I've traveled all the way down and as far as Frederickstead, and the water down there is looking pretty calm. I would like to thank you for staying off the road. You've been very cooperative, but without further ado, we'll hear from Darrell Johnson on what's going on with the weather.
Thank you, Governor Bryan. A lot of things have been changing, and we've been keeping very much in close contact with National Weather Service in Puerto Rico. So 11 o'clock update this morning has significant forecasts for us. Even though we're talking about Tropical Storm Fiona, we have had some issues of hurricane watches and warnings. First of all, the hurricane warning has now been issued for Puerto Rico as of 11 o'clock this morning, and a hurricane watch has been issued for the U.S. Virgin Islands. What that means for a hurricane watch is within 48 hours of 11 o'clock, the potential for a hurricane force winds approaching impacting the islands is there. So we're going to watch this development over the next couple of hours and see what does happen. The storm is passing, and I'll provide you the information from the bulletin at this point. The two significant things for you to be aware of. Again, 11 o'clock this morning, we had data from the Air Force Reserve NOAA Hurricane Hunters. Thank you so much for going out again into the storm. Center of tropical storm, still tropical storm, is located near latitude 16.3 north and 63.5 west. So again, 16.3 north and 63.5 west. Fiona is moving toward the west near 8 miles an hour. So Governor, this is a significant slowdown from what we talked about yesterday and this morning. So she is slowing down. A westward northwestern motion is similar forward speeds expected to begin later today, followed by a turn towards the northwest by Sunday evening. On the forecast track, the center of Fiona is expected to move near or south of the Virgin Islands this evening, approach Puerto Rico tonight, and move over Puerto Rico Sunday night. Fiona should then move towards Dominican Republic on Monday. The maximum sustained winds are near 60 miles per hour with higher gusts. Strengthening is forecast during the next few days, and Fiona is expected to become a hurricane by Sunday or Sunday night while moving near Puerto Rico. The tropical storm force winds do extend out 125 miles from the center. The data from the reconnaissance aircraft indicate the central pressure is 1004 millibars. Wind effects right now, we anticipate hurricane conditions are expected in Puerto Rico Sunday and Sunday night, and possible for U.S. Virgin Islands. Tonight, hurricane conditions are possible within hurricane watch areas in the Dominican Republic Sunday night and Monday. For rain, right now we're looking at, for the U.S. Virgin Islands and British Virgin Islands, between 4 to 6 inches with local maximums up to 10 inches. So we've talked about the rain. Rain seems to be increasing as far as the possible over the next 3 days overall. As far as local activity that's been going on, we've been tracking that. I have all 3 emergency operations centers up and operational in person since 7 o'clock this morning on St. Croix, St. Thomas, and St. John. So thank you, all the agencies that are there. VITEMA staff is there keeping things up to date and what's been happening. The first thing I want to talk about is the seaports. Right now, the seaports did close last night, condition Zulu at 2200 hours, and they remain closed today. So ferry service between St. Thomas and St. John is unavailable. Airports currently, and of course this may be changing, all VI Port Authority airports are expected to remain open during this event. However, the airline tenants have reported changes to their schedule, and here's some updates as of today. First of all, JetBlue. All flights are operating, however, schedules may change on the weather conditions. Delta, All flights operating except the last flight, which is Delta Lima DL1438 to Atlanta on St. Thomas and DL1809 to Atlanta on St. Croix, has canceled. Again, all flights operating except for DL1438 to Atlanta from St. Thomas and DL1809 to Atlanta from St. Croix. Both of those have canceled. American, all flights are operating except MIA, which is Miami on St. Croix, which is AA1293, and the final Miami flight on St. Thomas, which is AA1391. They both have canceled. United, all flights have canceled. Spirit, all flights are canceled. Cape Air, all flights are canceled. The Seaplane, all flights canceled, while Seaport is closed. It will resume when the Seaport does open. As always, all traveling individuals, please contact your airlines for most current updates. For Water Power Authority, we've had some reports right now. If you're on St. Croix, I think you felt the pain so far today, but we do have outages still on 2 Alpha feeder, 10 Alpha feeder, at a partial outage of 430 customers on 5 Alpha, which happens to be the one the hospital's on. The hospital is fine right now, no problem. They did have a small outage today. They went on generator for a little bit, but then they're back on WAPA, no problems at all. Water updates for St. Croix right now. All customers at higher elevation will experience low pressure. On St. Thomas right now, as far as isolated power outages on Carrot Bay and Red Hook, there are no overall feeder outages, which is a good sign. Across from Niski Center, the Estate Content 2A West has an outage, and water over at Vesta Garde has had an outage right now. On St. John, Trunk Bay has reported a minor outage, but we are aware of that and working to support that. Department of Public Works, as far as debris removal, Commissioner Gabriel has had his group out. We've had 3 reports of downed trees. All 3 basically have been cleared, One down at Grove Place on St. Croix vicinity, Hard Labor Road has been cleared. One down at Echo Valley by Echo Valley Tire has been cleared, and one on Constitution Hill has been cleared. BIT did report that we did have a Sprint T-Mobile up on Blue Mountain on St. Croix, had an outage for a while, but that's been back and restored. So thank you for keeping up to date on what's going with those. That's Governor. So that's the update for today for the weather. Outages are tracking, and Public Works are out and about. And we have delivered some sandbags today also.
Awesome. Thank you, Director Johnson. Now I'll turn it over to Major General Knox Limbacher.
And good morning, everyone. Right now, currently, the Army and Air National Guard personnel for the Virgin Islands continue to be positive to support the requirements. They're standing ready to support in both St. Thomas and St. Croix. Currently in St. John, we do have a team already deployed that we actually had in place prior to Condition Zulu of the port closing last night. So we do have an ambulance as well as light, medium tactical vehicles for transport of personnel and personnel assigned to those requirements to support any requirement that comes to St. John. We have currently been engaging closely with our liaison teams that have been deployed from Army North, and we'll continue to work through the Defense Coordinating Officer and his team for any additional requirements we have throughout the territory. We'll continue to work closely with the EMAP partners should the storm change and creates a situation that's greater than our capabilities, that we can have those personnel deployed to our territory at the request of the governor and then through the coordination of ITEMA, and we'll continue to make sure that we are ready to respond should we recall. That's all I have today, Governor. Thank you.
Thank you, General. The one thing when we have these storms is that we always want to be in a situation where we want the public to be on guard, but we don't want people to panic. So, you know, the hurricane watches that are in place, when we look at what's going on now, this morning they told us it was going to pass about 50 miles to the south of St. Croix, which is still consistent with the tracking that it's going. But it has a wind capacity of 125 miles out feeling those storms. So if it's 50 miles from St. Croix, that means it's 90 miles from St. Thomas and St. John. So you're still within that 125-mile radius of those storm force winds. So stay off the road. And once this thing moves and it starts to move off, which it probably, from the slowdown, judging on time, should be about 6 o'clock now. Our time, 6, 7 o'clock, we'll see this get to its closest point. But there's a lot of convection, rain showers, thunder showers. behind this storm. So as it moves across Puerto Rico and it hits some of those mountains, you know it starts to rain a lot more, especially in St. Thomas and St. John. We're going to get most of that in St. Croix because of how this storm is situated with the most in the northeast quadrant. As it always is, we've known the drill for this, so don't start moving around. You know, it looks clear outside in most places, but the rain is yet to come here. So this one is going to be in the tail. All the power is in the behind of this one. So make sure you stay safe and stay vigilant. Not because it's not raining that hard, don't come out. The rain is coming, trust me, and they expect it to rain tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So doing our best to keep you safe. As you heard, Commissioner Gabriel already has his crews out there. Let's give a big up to all our support people out there in public works, public safety, EMTs, police, fire, National Guard. You know, we really appreciate those people, especially this year. And nothing as beautiful as seeing a WAPA truck pull up when you're current out and you know it's something in your yard. So big up to the WAPA crews out there doing the best to keep us on and lit. I don't know if we have any questions from the press today. So that's our update. Stay tuned. I think we're going to be okay on this one. Just have to wait for it to move through the territory. Until then, we'll be monitoring. If anything major changes, we'll be right back here letting you know what's going on. Other than that, have a great evening and try to stay dry and away from this storm. And stay indoors. Thank you. Love you. Have a fantastic day.